Before you buy the Panasonic Lumix G7 DSLR camera, the one you're looking at me through right now live, go ahead and watch this video all the way to the end. I use this camera 10 to 12 hours per day, all day for about 2 years now. I know all of the pros and cons of the camera. I've set it up for dozens of clients, whether they're CEOs working from home or content creators working from home, and I'll tell you whether this camera is right for you. Not to mention, I'll do side-by-side comparisons of the way it looks like this on a chroma key versus without a chroma key, so you can make your best decisions on whether you should buy it, and I'll talk about all the best accessories for it. So how am I currently using the camera? Let me just show you here in my space. So currently, I have my Panasonic Lumix G7 on a ring light in front of me, and I'm running that through a Cam Link 4K, so I can actually use the camera as a webcam in my laptop. That's what's so great about this camera is it's under 500 bucks, and if you run it through a Cam Link, you can actually put that DSLR signal into your computer for streaming, web conferences, webinars, whatever it is, video recording, whatever it is, just like the video you're seeing right now. Before we get any further, I'm going to turn off the chroma key on the camera so you can see the way it looks without the chroma key. Here it is, and just in all of its glory. Here I am. I've got two Elgato green screens behind me. I've got a 6-piece lighting setup right now that has me lit up kind of TV studio style, and this is the way the shot looks without any chroma key on. I want you to just take a look at it. The coloring, as you can see, is pretty good. The clarity, pretty good as well. It gives you a natural skin tone if you set all the settings right inside of the camera. And I have this 14 by 42 millimeter lens zoomed all the way out. The camera's about 3 feet away from me right now. This is the way the shot looks normally. As you can see, the lighting's pretty good. Does a good job handling shadowing and also tiny details like the follicles of your hair and what have you. Overall, I'd say the quality of this camera, if you tweak in all the settings right, is about a 7 out of 10. You can get a much better looking signal through a DSLR camera into your computer if you spend thousands of dollars on like a Sony A series camera with a really expensive lens, but you're going to have to invest double or triple what this camera costs in order to get a better level of quality or a significantly better level of quality than this camera has to offer. Let me just go over the features and all of the different accessories you may want to consider to go with the camera so you can understand what this setup actually means in greater detail. So first of all, this is the camera itself, and DSLR cameras, if you're going to pick one up, you want one that's relatively simple and easy to use, and this one's pretty simple in my experience. The lens that comes with it is good enough variable lens. You can focus it just by physically turning the dial on the front. You can zoom it by physically turning the dial on the barrel of the lens. Really good stuff. And basically with this camera, you turn it to 4K mode on this knob, you turn it to manual camera mode on this knob, and then you just have a few settings within the camera that you need to set up, and it just looks pretty darn good. I'm filming right now using standard mode, no filters, and I'm just using the TV connection out on the camera to go into my computer, and I actually use autofocus on this camera to get a tight focus like the one you see on me right now by just putting an object where I'm going to be, like this microphone, and hitting the autofocus button on that touch screen. That's what's great about DSLR cameras, is you can use autofocus and you can use auto exposure if you want, or if you're an enthusiast and you really want to get into a great amount of detail, you can manually set every element of the camera to tweak it in and be perfect. Your choice with this DSLR. It has a lot of those professional features. Another thing you need to consider with this camera is, in comparison to like a webcam, for example, it's got a little monitor that pops out and flips to the side. So as you can see in my studio right now, the camera's in front of me, I'm looking right into it, but the little monitor on the side of it allows me to see the way my shot looks as I'm talking into the camera. In my opinion, that's a huge advantage with this camera. You can double check and see if your framing's right, if you're out of focus, whatever it may be, all using that little side screen on the side. I love that about this camera. Some of the monitors on other cameras are locked into the back of the camera, not this one. A really great, convenient feature. But you can't just plug this camera in through a USB jack into your computer. A bunch of people have tried that, and it doesn't work. Some cameras you can, but not this one. I recommend using a Cam Link 4K to interface this camera with your computer. Here's how it works. I'm going to disappear for a moment, but basically, you're going to run out of the HDMI jack into the camera into this Camlink 4K. And what the device does is it converts the video signal you're feeding into the back of it into a data signal that you plug into the USB 3 jack of your computer. And then it lets you use the DSLR camera as a webcam. It's a pretty cool device, and it gives you a really high level of quality. The level of quality you're seeing right now, none of my videos are edited. This is the way it looks in real time in my computer, which is really, really sick. In order to connect those two things together, you can just get a relatively inexpensive HDMI cable. Links in the description below to all of these accessories and items. I'm not sponsored by any of these companies. They have paid me $0 to talk about their products. Those are Amazon affiliate links in the description below. So this HDMI cable, you plug in the micro end into the side of the camera, and then you plug the big end of this HDMI cord into the Camlink, and it sends the video signal out of the DSLR camera into your Camlink, which interfaces with your computer, and boom, you've got a video signal going in your computer, which is great. Also, one thing you want to consider with a DSLR camera is they all run on batteries, right? As opposed to a webcam that runs on USB power. So you're going to need to get a dummy battery. So what do I mean by that? It's this device. I'm going to disappear right behind me. You basically put this little plastic battery inside the battery slot. Then you plug this device into the wall, and this thing's powered up all day. I run mine for, like I mentioned earlier, 10 to 14 hours a day straight. No problem. You just leave it on, you focus it, just leave it right there, and boom. Your camera's good all day. You don't need to worry about charging or recharging batteries, which is really great. But that's not all you need to know. So no camera, no DSLR, not this Panasonic Lumix G7. None of them are going to look good without lighting. And so as I talked about earlier, I've got multi-point lighting going right now. I've got a backlight with a light above me with the ceiling fan. I've got 4 LED light panels to light the green screen and to give me backlighting. And I've got the frontal light in front of me, the ring light that's giving me this lit up like Christmas TV studio style look. Specifically, what are these accessories and why do I recommend them? Well, let me just go over them really quick so you can understand what they're good for and what they're not good for. So the first item that I have the camera mounted into, you saw earlier, is the ring light. If you wear glasses, do not buy a ring light. If you do not wear glasses, it's great. You can put the camera inside of it right here. And you can basically position the camera in there, turn the light on, you get nice even light on your face. It gives you sort of a beauty light beauty vlogger look if you want that. Comes with a nice stand that is adjustable. You can move it up and down as you see fit. You can put it behind your computer or wherever you want. It's sick. And it comes with 2 filters. You can change the color temperature on it accordingly. It's a great starter frontal light for anyone that wants an easy solution. You can just turn on the light and look good. A ring light can do that for you. Link in the description below. I have a bunch of very happy clients, including myself, that use it. If you're looking to do a green screen with your Panasonic Lumix G7, I only recommend the Elgato green screen. I've got 2 of them behind me, and I've moved mine up and down about 1,000 times. And what you want to be looking for is a green screen that tears or rips or breaks over time. One of my screens I've had for 2 years, and I've up and downed it 1,000 times. It has not broken. I've even bought this green screen for professional studios I've built in the past. Never broke. So it's the only one I recommend because this is the one. I've never been able to break this thing, fingers crossed, even with my 3-year-old jumping on it behind me. And if you're looking to get a 2-piece lighting kit or a multi-point lighting kit, this is my favorite right here. I've got 4 of these in the studio right now. 4 of these lights. You can kind of see you see one down here, there's one here, there's one there, and there's one up there in my studio. And I use those to light my green screen and to provide supplementary light on me as I'm doing content. And so this is a very cost-effective lighting kit. I love it. It's newer, and you can change the color temperature on these. You get 2 panels, 2 power supplies, 2 tripod stands, 2 diffusers, and 2 carrying cases for these lights under $200. It's the most insane value in lighting I've ever seen. I own 2 of these kits, and I've recommended these to dozens of my clients in the past, all of which were happy with their purchase. So if you want a 2-piece look, if you want a look where you maybe even have more of a dramatic look across your face. So many YouTubers like the look where they're lighter on one side, darker on the other. You can use 2-piece lighting like this. You turn up one of these lights to be brighter, you turn down the other one to be darker, and then you have a dramatic look across your face if you want that. Or you can have a cleaner, well-lit look like I have right now, where you're bright on both sides of your face. You decide with this two-piece lighting kit, just by turning up and down the intensity on the lights, a fraction of the price of competitor products out there with most of the quality. And whenever you decide to upgrade one day with your lighting, these you can still use to be a wash light, a backlight, a product light, a photography light, whatever. Great purchase. Love them, love them, love them. I've recommended them so many times. So what do you need to know about this camera? At the end of the day, what do you need to know about the Panasonic Lumix G7 before you purchase? Look, if you're looking for an easy plug and play solution to just plug into your computer and it just works and it looks great, this is not the option for you. You have to get the camera, you have to do some settings in the camera, you have to run it through a cam link, you have to mount it, you're going to have to focus the camera, you're going to have to do some work with this camera in order to make it look the way you want it to look. But once you do those settings, as you can see, you can get a very high quality shot. This quality you're looking at right now is the quality you'll get in Zoom, is the quality that you'll get in Skype. It's the quality you'll get on Discord. It's the quality you'll get on your video podcast. Obviously, they'll smash the quality down based on the platform, but this is the signal quality that you're going to get in everything if you can take the time and actually invest the time into setting this device up. That is the biggest con, if you will, with this device, is it takes some extra time because it's a DSLR camera. The pro is this is higher quality than any webcam on the planet, and it's about $650, but it's not breaking the bank super hard. Most higher end or even mid-tier DSLR setups with lensing, they're costing over $1,000, multi-$1,000 setups. The big YouTubers you watch, their setups, just their lens costs double what this camera costs, or at least as much as the camera costs, if not double what this camera costs with the cam link. So it is a very cost-effective DSLR option. It was recommended to me by Roberto Blake and Epos Vox, two of my most trusted YouTubers out there for technology and cameras. I bought it based on their recommendation, and I've passed this recommendation on to so many of my other clients, all of which have been happy with their purchase so far, none of which have returned this camera. So that's the cons, is the complexity. The pros is the quality that you're going to get in comparison to any webcam. So the question you have to ask yourself is this: do you want to future-proof yourself with the camera in your studio? Do you want to look better than 90% plus of people on camera on the internet? If you want to do that, then you can't use a webcam necessarily. You're going to need to upgrade to a DSLR to impress on the internet. The bar right now on the internet in terms of video, like par for the course, a 5 out of 10, is like a $200 webcam. If you want to be better than average on the internet, you need to go up to DSLR to future-proof yourself so that you're better looking than most others 3, 4, 5 years in the future. Why does that matter? At the end of the day, the jobs of the future, who are they going to hire? The person that looks better is going to have a better chance of getting hired. When you're on a podcast, a video podcast, who are they going to bring back on the podcast? And who are audiences going to be impressed by? The person that looks better on the podcast. As we get into an increasingly digital society where we're all working from home, and most of our interactions now are digital interactions, what you look like on camera is now who you are in the world. Think about it. That's true. You know it's true, and that's the trend of the future. So getting an upgrade to a DSLR could be a good investment for you in an effort to future-proof yourself and to get an advantage in the market that we have today. If it's too expensive for you, I've got other videos on my channel. I recommend buying the PW513. The AverMedia PW513 is cheaper than this. It's not a DSLR, but it gets you close. If you want to future-proof yourself, getting a DSLR setup like this, plugging it into your computer, and making sure that you look better than the average Joe on camera can matter a lot. And you don't have to do a green screen setup like I'm doing. You can have a physical setup behind you, throw a little decor lighting back there, and it looks phenomenal. That's my assessment of this camera. I very highly recommend it, obviously. They paid me $0 to recommend this camera. Links in the description below. Happy camera shopping to all of you, and I wish you all the best in this new digital world.